So in the first lot of news days, I was the overall editor, so I was in charge of the entire newsroom. And then this week I'm a features reporter, so I'm putting out content across all 4 platforms. I think it was really good to be being in charge and being able to go into the galleries and behind the scenes of the actual TV bulletins, and when breaking news is coming on, you're kind of there and you're telling people what to say and just making sure that things are going out, and you've got to approve everything that goes out and make sure the right things are going out. So it was really good. It was good to kind of get that managerial experience. I didn't really enjoy planning the TV bulletins. I thought it was there's so much pressure with it, and obviously if you're in charge there is a lot of pressure anyway, but if you've got to look at, you might plan it all one minute and all of a sudden a breaking news story will come in, or someone's package will have fell through, and then you've got to replan to fill an extra 5 minutes or cut things out, and I ended up leaving that a lot more. It's the TV team that knew what they were doing, because it wasn't for me. I think overall I think if you can get the communication right and the organisation right, the entire thing worked well. I know that when we had our conference meetings in the mornings and everyone was talking and saying, these are the ideas we've got, this is what's definitely happened, this is what we like to happen, and you could kind of team up with people from other platforms and develop your skills. It worked really well to get the output across every platform, instead of just being oh well, I only do radio, it's only going out as a radio package. You could find someone that could run operate a camera for you, and that made it work better, more diversity. I mean, there was a couple of fallouts that you can't really avoid, but yeah, I mean, we had a couple of things if people didn't send packages over properly, if the editing wasn't right, or something had sent wrong, then you're live in the studio and all of a sudden there's no sound, or someone's microphone is still turned on when it shouldn't be, and you can hear presenters talking in the background and stuff. It was an absolute nightmare, but it's a learning curve at the end of the day. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about broadcast, and I've learned that editing is a lot harder than we appreciate on the multimedia side of it. So we kind of think, oh yeah, you get all your clips and you put it together, and it's just a case of cut it and paste essentially. And you've kind of learned from seeing 6 different people editing different packages that it takes a lot more time, and getting your timings right and your outros right and stuff is a lot more tedious than we kind of think. And when you see the behind the scenes of that instead of just the final package, it really makes you appreciate it more. Yeah, definitely. So we tried to do a package on Andy Warhol's art exhibition at the Whitworth Art Gallery, and we sent out so many emails to local artists and to Whitworth about trying to arrange interviews and get permission for filming, and this was over a day and a half, and no one got back to us, or they won't get back to us in time. And then finally someone emailed back and said we could film there. We said, oh great, can we do it today or tomorrow? And they were like, oh, the person isn't until Monday. So luckily someone else in our course had already been to the gallery and got some photos for another press event. So because we had photos and we had a couple of quotes off a local artist, we managed to put together a online and print version for the article. It just meant that we couldn't do the broadcast side of it, but the fact that we still had something meant that it wasn't a complete waste of a day. It just would have been better if we'd had more. I think I'd improve planning. I think sometimes you forget and you kind of come in and go, oh, I'm going to find a story, I'm going to sit down and find a story, and then you hit writer's block, or you realise you don't always know the right avenues to go down. And I think just spending an extra half hour, an extra day planning or something makes a big difference in that. Communication is key. So I think if you learn how to if you've got a package and you know it's going to work well across every platform, but you don't know how to use cameras or your writing's not very good, team up with someone from the other side, and you'll both get something out of it. Then you'll both have something to talk about in like evaluations, and you'll learn a new set of skills. So if you've got a story and you want to go, oh, I want to put together a TV package, but I've never done TV, find someone that does do TV that can teach how to use a camera, or like if you're on the other side of it, find someone that can write well for print and they can teach you just the basics of it. And I think that makes everything run a lot smoother, and it helps you build so many bridges.